Rodan is actually in another movie called Invasion Earth. The aliens are here. That one. It's in a 2-pack DVD. There's no new footage, but I checked it out anyway. So here it is. Invasion Earth. The aliens are here.
Aliens infiltrate a movie theater, start editing films together so that they can keep the audience entertained while draining their intelligence, and start to take control over that same audience. Coming into Invasion Earth, the aliens are here, I thought the material that the aliens were going to be using was solely old movie trailers, but I'm happy to say that there's a lot of actual scenes used. In fact, one of the first things in the movie is a bait and switch with the movie theater scene from The Blob. There's a ton of footage. War of the Worlds, a creature from the Black Lagoon, and of course, some good old giant monsters with Rodan, them, a giant claw, Conga, Reptilicus, black and white versions of both the Mysterians and Frankenstein Conquers the World, King Kong vs. Godzilla, 20 million miles to Earth, It Came From Beneath the Sea, Tarantula, the giant mantis, the great behemoth, and whatever this thing is. As you now know, there's a lot of giant monsters, but of course they're just here randomly. These segments did make me realize how few of these I've seen. Konga's alright, I like Reptilicus, and I really like the giant claw in 20 million miles to Earth. But aside from those and the Toho ones, I haven't actually seen those giant monster films mentioned above. So it was pretty cool to see some clips from them. Giant monsters aside, this movie where there's animated disembodied brains looks pretty awesome. You know, for a movie I had never heard of that's bulk of its runtime is footage from other films, I was expecting much worse in terms of production quality. The music and sound effects are good. I like both the exterior and interior of the main spaceship. The boss of the alien group the movie focuses on is pretty cool looking. The anthropomorphic bug guys are pretty lame though. The one scene where Megara shoots his eye lasers and it cuts to the audience getting vaporized was nice. The movie does have its own giant monster, a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. It looks pretty cool, and before it appears, the film's music builds up tension before leading up to the eventual reveal, and it's amazing. In the final scene, it's shown to have glowing eyes, and again, looks pretty cool. There's a callback to the scene from The Blob where everyone is running out of the theater that was so wisely shown at the beginning of Invasion Earth, the aliens are here. Little things like this, and the Megara cut, show that the filmmakers know how to make a good movie. There's just so much padding here. Almost all the characters, if you want to call them characters. Most don't even have names, but they're all caricatures who are all at the movies by themselves or in a group of 3 or less people of the same stereotype. Everyone's here. Nerds, nuns, bums, bullies, kids, elderly, punks, and they're all one-dimensional, flat, and almost completely useless in the narrative. Most of them just sit around for the entire runtime. The sound levels are a bit off, as is the inconsistent lighting. The effects put on top of the voice acting for the bug aliens is quite annoying. Even though the sound effects are good for the most part, during the fight scenes in the finale, there are none. So every punch and kick is silent, and the lack of audible contact makes every hit seem weak and ineffective. There's a few funny moments, but the majority of the jokes are more cringeworthy than humorous. For some reason, there's 2 different title animations about 5 or so minutes apart, and for some other reason, this dude's butt is included in the final edit. The main problem with Invasion Earth, the aliens are here, is that the actual plot of the film doesn't progress constantly in between all the borrowed footage. The aliens aren't interesting enough to keep things entertaining, and the humans that are part of the story and not just sitting the whole time are absent for at least a third of the movie. Additionally, the aliens are just in the projection booth the whole time. Not much happens for the majority of the film. The aliens are just slowly taking over a movie theater, and if that doesn't scream entertainment to you, well, I'm sure you're not alone.
So that was Invasion Earth, the aliens are here. You know, it's not a terrible movie. It's not a good movie, I don't want you guys to get too excited, but yeah, I feel like it'd be enjoyable if it was half, or at least 2/3 of its length, because there's way too much padding. Anyways, if you have any movies, TV shows you want me to review, leave a comment below, and thanks for watching.
Hey yo, the deltoid atomizer and thought materializer are being moved into position.
When he moves, the whole earth quivers and quakes, and an abyss of horror opens up.
Once more, a frantic pilot radios in a report on a UFO. A bird. A bird as big as a battleship.
What a gorgeous day!
Well, special delivery.
Fire and fall back!
What do we do now?
Oh, looks like we've had it.